All right, let's get right to it. First of all, thank you for coming to the channel. Hit the like button, do the things that you should do, whatever. I do appreciate it. But all right, there. The news is kind of dry, so I have a collaboration of the best out there, right? I mean, there's not a whole lot going on. Your typical, drama from camp to camp. So we'll get right into it. Chepo, Canelo's trainer, putting out some harsh words for Abel Sanchez. And of course, he replies in Abel Sanchez fashion, okay, like he does. And it's entertaining. I thought it was interesting, so I'd bring it to you guys, and see what you think about it. But, basically, look, like they talk about, in the end of it all, the two fighters, they have to get in the ring, and that's all that matters. But the pre-hype is fun, and why not? It's entertaining. So, having said that, another thing I want to point out, okay, my next video, I think I'm going to break down the original fight and tell you guys why I think Golovkin won, round by round. What, and I've done it in other videos, but I don't think I've ever devoted like a good solid half an hour, round by round by round, giving you my punch count stats, this and that, everything. Just collectively put it all together. And also, for example, in the video, I want to talk about what Canelo did right and what Golovkin did right, what Canelo did wrong, what Golovkin did wrong, that kind of thing. For example, I noticed, I watched a little bit of it last night, about half the fight, and I noticed that Canelo would constantly escape to Golovkin's left, okay? Then I noticed, like, anytime, well, first of all, let me back up. Look at the Daniel Jacobs fight. We know Golovkin basically won that fight behind the jab, right? And I noticed Canelo, he could time that jab, and he started predicting that jab, and he would counter. Golovkin would throw the jab, and Canelo would counter, and because of that, it kind of, taught Golovkin or put it in his mind not to throw the jab as much. And you kind of train another fighter. When you're a boxer, you learn how to take away your opponent's best weapon, and in that fight, one of them was his jab. And I saw Canelo do that. He was basically training Golovkin and telling him, if you throw the jab, you're going to get countered, and he'd duck, go to the body, whatever. And then, like I said, anytime there was pressure, he would escape, roll out to the left. And Golovkin being, the king of ring generalship, why he couldn't make that minor adjustment, to step to his right to stop him from, going out to the left. I don't know. These little things that I pick up on, and just little minor adjustments can make or break a fight. So anyway, I'm going to break that down in another video, but let me read the comment real quick from from Chepo, which I thought, I like Chepo. He's an old man. He's got some fire in him. I like him. Okay, the man talks, and he's talking about Abel Sanchez. Talks, but that's what he likes to do, and we have to let him talk. In my town, they say that donkey I think of Shrek, like donkey, donkey. That donkeys speak so that everyone knows they exist. Because if they didn't speak, then nobody would know. Then no one would know. So here we are. Abel talks so everyone knows he is there. Chepo told ESPN Deportes. Okay, the people that are provoking you, it's like with donkeys, you turn a deaf ear to them. There is a working plan in place and a strategy, and we have to move forward. Abel speaks, but he is not going to fight. The one who is going to fight is going to be Golovkin. Okay, there are not many words spoken in the ring. You just have to be in the tower. You just have to be in the tower, and whoever has the better condition, better strategy, and better mentality and concentration will win the bout. Okay, wise words. Okay, basically he's saying Abel is just talking too much. Now, of course, right here you can see Abel fires back. He basically says to Team Canelo, I'm not the donkey who ate the beef. Okay, so it's childish, but at the same time, it also, in a fight, especially this particular fight, okay, that mental warfare is key, right? I mean, it goes a long way. So let me find his reply. Where the hell is it? I know I have it. Hang on a second. You just got to give me. Here we go. Okay, now, and I do agree with Abel Sanchez, and I think you will too. Even if you're a Canelo fan, you will probably agree. Okay, Sanchez indicates that Canelo's handlers should have taken the proper precautions based on their knowledge of the meat industry in Mexico. Now, what he's talking about, we know Canelo's trainers, they're butchers, okay? They're professional butchers. They know the meat trade. They're born and raised in Mexico. Look, the first thing, and I live on a border town. Well, I live in Houston. Mexico is about 3 hours away. Been there countless times, okay? And the first thing the locals will tell you is don't drink the water, okay? Number one, don't drink the freaking water. And number two, you know, careful what you eat because you will get food poisoning or something like that. I mean, I remember being like 12 years old and going to Mexico and my mom and dad telling me, you know, don't drink, you know, only drink bottled water. You know, they would only eat in like certain places. I mean, Mexico is known for contamination, for water contamination, meat contamination. Even their vegetables, they shoot like dyes in them. Like if you get like, say you get like a red bell pepper, it's like pumped full of dye, or a green bell pepper, it's like painted green and shit. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy in Mexico. So what he's trying to say here, and I'm going to read what he's talking about, but how is it Canelo's handlers, how do they not know that? How do they not know they can't just go buy beef from anywhere and you know, expect it not to be contaminated, or possibly even if the slight possibility that it's contaminated, how do they not know? And that's the point he's making. So he says, let me tell you this. For the last 15 to 20 years, people in Mexico know about the chemical they put in beef that caused the positive test. For the last 20 years, this has been happening in Mexico. The Mexico soccer team tested positive, and a few fighters got caught, Sanchez told BoxingScene.com. Shout out to those guys. They did a good job over there. His trainers are butchers by trade, okay? You have to live under a rock to not know about the problem in Mexico. So I'm not the donkey who ate the beef, and I'm not the donkey who allowed him to eat the beef, okay? And he's got a good point. Now, Chepo, you know, he's got a good point as well. He's basically telling Abel, you know, hey, shut up. You know, you're not the one getting in the ring. You're not the one fighting. Let these two guys duke it out, whatever, on September 15th. Which I get that, I understand, but at the same time, what's going on here? Basically, Canelo and his team, look, they don't like the public humiliation. Okay, they don't like that, and that's what it is. I mean, that's basically what it is. You know, when you're calling someone out for what they did, you know, they don't like it, and they know they're guilty, and I think ashamed, and they should be, you know. And then Golovkin goes on to say in another comment. Let me see if I can find it. He's talking about you know, basically how Canelo insisted on no media tour, okay? He's the one in their contract, and a part of the negotiation, a part of the agreement was we're not going to have a press tour because he didn't want to face the music, right? He didn't want the press grilling him about clenbuterol, okay, about the whole hair follicle test, which I think was a bunch of BS. That hair follicle test was highly suspect in my book, okay? I mean, really, I don't buy it for 1 minute, okay? Now, also, Golovkin calling for more professional judges. Now, remember, what is it, Adelaide Bird, Moretti, and who was the other one? Damn, I can't think of his name. But anyway, the 3 judges. Now, of course, Adelaide Bird, that 118, 110 was ridiculous. But, you know, and I'm curious, who is going to be the judges? That's going to be key. And who's going to be the referee, okay? And the officials, because remember, Abel Sanchez made a big deal about the hand wraps with the Las Vegas officials. So, you know, are they going to go in with like a bias towards Team Golovkin, right? I mean, imagine, because Abel Sanchez, he's like pissing everybody off, okay? And I thought about this. I'm like, okay, imagine fight night. You know, you're there with the Vegas or Las Vegas officials, and, you know, Abel's in the media accusing them of being corrupt and biased and you know, doing things that are illegal. Remember the illegal hand wraps? I made videos about it, you know, showing that Canelo's hands were indeed, definitely, factually illegally wrapped, okay? And Abel pointed that out, and nothing was done about it. So are they going to retaliate? Are they going to get revenge? I don't know. You know, these are questions. All these little things matter. I mean, everything matters, okay? So, you know, these just little things that I wonder about, that, well, little things that could turn into a big thing. So also right here, I'm expecting a fight with more contact because that's what people have been asking for a long time. So I'm ready to exchange punches until the end, Golovkin said. Okay, now both guys, look, are promising this epic fight, and for the sake of boxing, I hope they deliver. I hope they halfway deliver. If they can just halfway deliver, okay, we'll make it, boxing as a whole, as a sport, as a community, will make it out alive. So I'm hoping these guys at least have a few rounds that are memorable, some good highlight rounds. But, the more I think about it, originally I had Golovkin winning by knockout, but that age factor keeps like creeping up in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? I go back to the original fight, and I didn't like the way Golovkin was looking. He looked a little pudgy, just didn't look right. He just didn't look right, And I broke it down in other videos for sake of time. I'm not going to do it again, but he didn't look right. Okay, and I thought Canelo looked good. Now in a rematch, you have an incredibly young, youthful, in his prime Canelo that is out for revenge, that I think is going to give 110%. So, I'm just concerned that can the older Golovkin, can he live up to it? Can he handle it? That's my big question. But the more I think about it, I'm kind of leaning towards a decision for Golovkin. Okay, and one of the main reasons is money in Vegas. I believe, they wanted the trilogy from day one. Like I mentioned in my other video, Oscar De La Hoya told me to my face, directly to my face, that he wanted a trilogy. And this was during the Chavez fight, the Canelo Chavez fight. He told me, we're going to have a trilogy. And I kind of laughed. I was like, that's crazy, because back then I thought, Golovkin's going to knock Canelo out in the first fight, and, that's going to be the end of it, right? It's going to be like Pacquiao Marquez, and that'll be the end of it, well, in their fourth fight. But you know what I mean? I laughed at the thought of a trilogy. But now there will be a trilogy. I'm telling you guys. I think in probably 2019, 2020, we'll get the third fight, and I think what will happen is Golovkin will win by decision, okay? He's going to win by decision, and then now Canelo wants revenge because he was robbed, okay? The original fight, was a draw. He thinks he won, but forget about that. No one cares about that anymore. Now it's the Canelo robbery, and this is really how I think it's going to end, and it's all going to lead towards, a third and final mega bout, and in the trilogy, these guys are going to make a truckload of money, hundreds of millions of dollars. So for the money reason alone is why. Money, pride, legacy, you name it. And who else can Canelo fight? Think about this. In the division, you look at the division, you got Charlo, Billy Joe Saunders, all those things. And remember, Golovkin, he was negotiating with Billy Joe Saunders, as a plan B in case the Canelo rematch fell through. But, when I look at it, who else is Canelo going to fight for that kind of payday? There's no one out there. You're not going to get any money out of Charlo, right? I think his best route, maybe David Lemieux, right, which is on, Team Golden Boy. I don't know. It'd have to be like Billy Joe Saunders and go after the belt. That's the only thing I can see him doing. Or I don't know what's going on with the IBF, but possibly, he could go after that IBF, maybe Daniel Jacobs, something like that. Who knows? But anyway, guys, I'm probably going to leave it at that. Just a little bit of gossip, a little bit of drama for you today. What do you think? Leave it below.